YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit more serious than all of my other videos because this is a topic that I've kind of dreaded talking about, but I think it's time that I confront it and make a video for it, because if I'm having a hard time with it, a lot of my subbies or other people all around the world are having a hard time with it. Today's video is going to be about how to live and cope with anxiety disorder. So let's get right to it. What is anxiety? I know a lot of people say, I'm an anxious person or I have anxiety. I know a lot of people in the media have heard about the R&B artist Summer Walker. She has publicized her struggle with social anxiety, and a lot of people are just judging her, and it's different, and people don't know how to approach the situation or kind of what to say about it because they don't even know what it is. So don't mind me if I'm looking down at my phone. I just have all my research done here. So the first thing I want to do is tell you guys the 6 types of anxiety and what they are and how you can identify them. Anxiety type number 1 is generalized anxiety disorder. This is feeling anxious about a wide variety of things on most days over a long period of time. For example, you feel this way for over 3 months, over 6 months, over 9 months. I identify with the GAD, the generalized anxiety disorder. I just feel anxious about a lot of different things all the time, and it's been going on now for about 2.5 to 3 years. So I really think that I am the type of person that needs to sit up here and say, someone that looks like me can struggle with this disease. There's not a look. Anxiety doesn't look like anyone. It doesn't sound like anyone. So that's kind of what I identify with. The second one you might have heard like a lot more common. It's called OCD. It's obsessive compulsive disorder. This is ongoing, unwanted, intrusive thoughts and fears that cause anxiety, obsessions, and a need to carry out certain rituals in order to feel less anxious or to feel compulsions. So this is like people that have to keep a super clean space, or people that need to do something a certain number of times just in order to make themselves feel calm. It kind of makes them feel in control, and it's just like you almost are creating a ritual so that you feel like you have control over something, because your body internally does not feel like it has control over anything. So that's OCD. Then you have panic disorder, which is frequent attacks of intense feelings of anxiety that seem like they cannot be brought under control. This may go on to be associated with avoidance of certain situations, i.e. going into crowded places. So I do think I have some of the panic disorder too, because I have been in situations that are traumatic to me that I think kind of brought on my anxiety. So for instance, I've been hit by a car before, so like going out and like standing on a sidewalk makes me feel anxious. Like I know, like I go to the club and I still party, but I don't do it a lot because when I got in my accident, it was New Year's Eve and I got hit by a car on my way to a party with my friends. So I kind of can definitely identify a little bit with panic disorder as well. So the 4th anxiety type is called social phobia. This is what Summer Walker identifies with. And this is an intense fear of criticism, being embarrassed or humiliated even in everyday situations, eating in public, or making small talk. And this kind of explains why she doesn't like to perform, or maybe she feels comfortable around certain people, certain situations make her feel more anxious than others. So this is just anxiety brought on by a social setting, and she tends to feel embarrassed. I definitely can't say this is how she feels for certain, but people who identify with this type of anxiety tend to feel embarrassed or tend to feel heavily criticized in situations, so they often stray away from social gatherings or big crowds or big groups. The 5th one is called specific phobia, and this is fearful things about a particular subject or situation, i.e. going near an animal, flying on a plane, or receiving an injection. And I've seen people with this type of anxiety. You can easily spot these people because at airport, they'll be the people popping the Xanax, or you'll see them popping a pill before they get on the plane because they have a fear of flying, or flying makes them anxious, or it could be the lack of control that makes them feel anxious. That's the specific phobia. You're anxious about a specific thing. And the last type is called post-traumatic stress disorder, which I also identify with. This is bursts of anxiety anytime from 1 month after experiencing a traumatic event, i.e. a traumatic delivery, sexual assault, or violence. So again, I've had a few really traumatic things happen to me before. You guys may not know this, but while I was in college, I was robbed at gunpoint in my apartment. That really creeped me out, and I didn't even honestly know that it impacted me or affected me until like 3 years later. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing. I got robbed at gunpoint in 2013, and I was hit by a car on July 1st, 2016. And in that gap of time, I thought I was fine. But I guess after the second traumatic event, it triggered everything, and everything came up around 2017. I'm like, why do I feel this way? This is different. I'm not used to this. So that was my PTSD kicking in. So those are the 6 types of anxiety, and I hope those definitions help you to understand how each of them are the same and how each of them differ. So next, I want to talk about how to know if you are an overthinker or if you're an anxious soul. These are just a few tips that I identify with, and I would love to know if other people who experience these tips also identify with having anxiety. These are just mine. I call these my signs of overthinking. You second guess everything. You analyze things to death. You catastrophize or expect the worst. You have insomnia. You can't sleep. You hate making decisions. You would rather someone else makes decisions for you. You can't let things go. You're harping on the same thing. You're thinking about the same thing over and over. You take things personally when they aren't personal. You are a perfectionist. You criticize yourself a lot. You never feel 100% certain. You feel tense in your muscles, in your body, in your mind. You get headaches, and you feel like you can't turn your brain off. Your brain feels like it's running a marathon. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen like the storage app on your computer that shows how your computer is just like processing data and processing apps and programs. That's how people with anxiety, that's how our minds feel even when we're trying to sleep. So imagine you're trying to go to bed and your brain's going like, tomorrow you have to do this, next week you have to do this, next year you have to do this, don't forget you have to do that, yesterday you did this, you didn't do that. Like, that's how your brain feels, and it's like an attack because you can't ever be at peace. Okay, so now that we understand what anxiety is, the different types of anxiety, and how to know the signs, next I want to tell you the 7 signs that kind of alert you to know that you're about to go into a panic or anxiety attack. So you have a rapid heartbeat, you have shortness of breath, tightness in your stomach, dizziness, feel like you're losing control of life, you have changes in your blood pressure, you will get chills or sweating, and then your muscles tense up. So now when I am having a panic attack, I'm already like a very emotional person, but I cry a lot when I'm going through an anxiety attack, and sometimes I'll like retreat and like rock, and like it's like I can't stop crying and I can't catch my breath. That's how I know like I'm so worked and my brain has gone so far into overdrive that now I can't breathe, I can't control. Everything feels like it's closing in on me. Like, it just feels like my life is just shattered. And normally stuff isn't really that bad. I will say my anxiety is triggered by like sad events. Like, if something goes on in my life, if something is stressful, or if I'm stressed out, then I'll feel it a little bit more. But it's just good to know when you maybe need to step out and breathe, or when you need to get out of somewhere because it's making you feel uncomfortable and it may be bringing on an attack. These are signs. Pay attention to your body. You know yourself best. Don't try to say, oh, I'm fine. You know, a lot of people be like, no, I'm good. I don't have anything. I don't need a therapist. I don't need this. I don't need that. And they'll just go on with life, and they're suffering internally. And sometimes it gets so bad that unfortunately some people can't tolerate it and decide, you know, that they can't go forward with life. Like, this is a serious thing. That's why I'm deciding to kind of rip the band-aid off and use my platform as a safe space for people like me who suffer day to day with this disease. It's really, really, really hard. I can't stress that enough. Please, ladies and gentlemen, listen to your body. Fall in love with your own mind. Like, your mind is your powerhouse. If your mind isn't healthy, nothing else in your body works. So ladies and gentlemen, please, please don't think it can't happen to you. Because just because you don't experience anxiety now, that does not mean that there may not be a life event that could force you into anxiety or depression later. Don't wait till the end. Know the signs. Know how to identify it in your friends, because they could be suffering in silence like I did for years. Definitely know the signs. Next, I want to talk about tips. So now we talked about all what it is, how to identify it, what it makes you feel like. Now let's talk about the tips that I've used to help me going forward. I definitely will say that I have gotten better with coping with anxiety. This year, in the beginning of the year, it was probably the worst. It got the worst. My attacks got to the point where they were every day, and it really put a damper on my life and just how my quality of life. It just made things just so stressful. So let me show you a few things that I use to help me. So the first thing I use is called, I hope this focuses. This is called Honey Lavender Stress Relief Tea by Yogi. And if you guys can't see, I'm going to hold it really still because my camera really sucks. But if you guys can't see this, again, like I do with everything else, I'll leave the details in the description box. But this is called Yogi. It's the Honey Lavender Stress Relief, and it's the Soothing Serenity Blend. I drink this at night. It definitely helps if I'm having a rough day, if my mind is overactive. That tea definitely just has like a calming effect to it. I want to say it has lavender in it. Yes. It has, of course, it's honey and lavender. So it's honey, lavender, and natural vanilla. It definitely helps. Another thing I use is, and I already know my camera isn't going to focus on these. I have essential oils that my mom got me for Christmas, and God bless her heart, she didn't even know I was going through anxiety at the time. I have lavender and eucalyptus. These essential oils are by Aroma Aria, and she got these off of Amazon, I believe. I'll just put like what I'll do right now, because actually doing this video is giving me a little anxiety, just because I want to really get this out to people, because I know there's so many people that are struggling. This is my lavender oil. I put this on my the insides of my hands, and sometimes I'll put it like under my jawline, just somewhere where like I can smell the aroma at night. Sometimes if I wash my pillows, I'll put it on my pillowcases. It just helps me sleep. I also have lemongrass. I don't really use lemongrass that much, but eucalyptus and lavender are lifesavers. Sometimes if I'm going to work and I think it may be a rough day, I'll just put it on my hands and I'll smell it. If I feel like I'm getting a little worked up, it helps. It definitely helps. Just the scent just helps to calm you and just to give you that good centered feeling. Another trick I do, because with anxiety sometimes I can't sleep and I'm up like watching TV like an owl, like at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll use melatonin. Sometimes I'll just take one, put it on my tongue. This is like the fast dissolving melatonin, 12 milligrams. This helps me sleep. It's a natural sleep aid. It's non-habit forming. I really stand by it. Melitonin. I got this one from CVS. It comes in a purple CVS brand. I'm pretty sure it won't focus, but like I said, you guys will see the bottle, and I'll leave all of the links below. And this is melatonin, and it supports sound sleep, helps you sleep better so you can get a good night's rest, because I'm tired a lot of the time because I'm up all night. Lastly, another thing I use is multivitamins. Because you're not sleeping sometimes, and because you're just anxious, it's hard on your body, your muscles are tense, everything it just feels out of whack. My mom actually forced me to start taking multivitamins because I hate taking pills, but this is multi for her. You can get it for him. You can get it for even kids get anxiety. I have a cousin that's suffering. That poor baby's suffering with anxiety. He's like 7. And so that's another thing that we'll get deeper into this, but definitely get vitamins. It just helps with your overall health. Mine has iron and calcium, and this is made with vitamin D3. So multivitamin, this is made by Nature Made. I got this off of Amazon. All of this stuff you can get off Amazon. I'll leave the link below. But yeah, those things definitely help me. Another thing that is like the biggest help, I would say, is meditation. Not that I was against meditation, I just didn't think it worked for people like me. And that sounds bad, that you think that certain things just don't work. Like that is not gonna work for me. But one of my best friends told me, like, she started meditating and it helped her, and ever since then I meditate every day. I actually watch videos at night that help change my thought process in my subconscious while I'm sleeping. I'll leave the 3 videos I watch the most below. Sometimes I'll listen to ASMR and it'll just help calm me. And I do that every single night. Like if I feel like I can't sleep, I'll put that on and I'll sleep within 10 minutes, if that. It's like they have recharging your energy, getting restful sleep, getting into a deep sleep. It's just meditation. It's just somebody that's like doing a guided meditation with you. They'll tell you to lay down, relax, and just breathe. That brings me to my next tip, breathing. This is the biggest tip of them all, honestly, people. Breathing, taking that time to go. It is so helpful and so necessary. You guys don't understand how much it helps. Breathing. I normally do in for 8 seconds, out for 7, and sometimes I'll do it again. If it's really bad, I'll step outside. I like to walk. Just getting your heart rate pumping, being active. Those are things that help take your mind off of the anxious feeling that is anxiety. So another thing you can do is work out. I know a lot of people, they work out. I haven't gotten there. I need to, but I haven't gotten to the place where I'm working out all the time. So working out is definitely something that'll definitely help you. Go walking, go running, go jogging. My biggest and favorite tip to help me cope with my anxiety is music. I love music. I love to listen to it. And maybe that's why I love Summer Walker's music so much, because I literally relate to everything that lady's saying. Like, I love her music. You can feel the soul in it. Like, I'll listen to indie R&B. I'll listen to hip hop. Sometimes you got to hear some ratchet music to bring you back. You know, I'll listen to different types of music. Sometimes I'll listen to Maxwell and Sade while I'm cooking just to unwind. It's just really helpful. Music is therapy for me. And then another thing, guys, don't be afraid to get therapy. We'll talk about my journey with therapy in a story time. I'm currently not going to therapy, which a lot of people be like, how the hell do you have anxiety and you're not going? I don't want to hear your mouth because you don't know my story. You don't know my journey. But I have not had a good experience with therapy. I want to, but I haven't. So we're going to talk about that. And like I said in all my videos, I want you guys to help me. I wanted to get in front of this thing. I want to start doing different videos about anxiety, because there's not even a lot of people that, you know, look like me or that are just talking about anxiety like face to face, like how I talk about my hair and my makeup. You know, there's not a lot. So I want to get in front of this thing. I want to know if you feel this way, if you've ever felt this way, if you have people that felt this way, send them this link to this video, please, because if I can save one person, I have done my job and I have fulfilled my purpose in life. Like, I want to help people so that they can live with this disease and do not feel like they have to retreat because of it. Let's fight anxiety, and I want to kick anxiety's butt. So this is video 1 of my coping with anxiety series, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I can't wait to hear from people that have experienced it, or maybe people that haven't experienced it and want to learn more about it. Let's talk about it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys learned something from me, and I hope that I saved one life today. And I'll also leave the crisis line after this video, so that if you're feeling or you need someone to talk to, there are resources out here. You are not alone. You are not fighting this battle alone. I am with you. I pledge to help you and to be in front of this thing so that I can help you beat it. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. This has been a mental health awareness video by Complex Beauty, and I hope you have a good day.